Good afternoon. It's Friday, November the 10th, right about noon. I took a half a day off. Haven't gone flying in a month. So there is a database update for an operating system update for the 650. So I took a mental health half day and decided that we'd go up to Rockford and have the 650 updated just to have something to do. Not something that we need to do, just something reason to fly. Weather is cold. It is a whopping 29 degrees out. That'll probably be our high today, which is pretty chilly for this part of the country, November, beginning of November. Winds are 8 to 14 knots out of the east-southeast. Clouds are supposed to be scattered 3,500, and then I think there's going to be a layer up by Rockford at 12,000 feet. So we'll go up to Rockford 3,500 feet, and we'll just dodge the few clouds if we encounter any at all, have the database updated, and fly home. Moves the oil around, and good exercise for the pilot. We'll see you when I get it all started. Bye.
Okay, good afternoon. We're tucked in, we're ready to go. The engine started, everything looks real good. We will be heading to Rockford, 3,500. And we just got a call for the taxi. Here we go. All right. 121.9, we're good. Quad City Ground, Comanche 6928 Pop at the South Tees, requesting permission to taxi to the active.
Comanche 6928 Pop at Quad City Ground, wind is 120 at 7, gust 14. Do you want runway 13 or 9?
9 is fine, sir. Alright. Let's go ahead and go. Okay, so everybody heard the wind. Gonna have a right to left crosswind. It's gonna be not too bad. Gusting 14, but it's only, 30 degrees or so, yeah, we'll have maybe 10 knots across. It's not too shabby. Clear both ways.
There's a 4 runway Bravo Quad City Tower, runway 9 clear to land, wind 1308.
So as I mentioned in the phone, it's cold today. We had a cold front go through yesterday. Yesterday morning it was 45 degrees at like 7 a.m. and by the late afternoon it was down into the 20s. Last night we got into the teens, and this morning I actually had wind chills into the single digits, which is cold for the beginning of November. There's a high pressure system sitting over the northern Michigan, and we're on the back side of that, and there's a low pressure system coming actually out of the northern plains.
Comanche 28 Pop out Quad City altimeter 3052, wind 130 at 8.
5228 Papa. Okay, we're cleared? Yeah, we're cleared.
Quad City Ground, Allegiant 433, taxi in November.
Allegiant 433, Quad City Ground, runway 9er, taxi via Mike Juliet Hotel.
Oh, there's a big hawk sitting right on the sign. Very cool.
Mike Juliet Hotel, cross runway 31, taxi runway 9, Allegiant 4.
Pressure, oil, everything looking good. I had the plane plugged in and everything going. So I got in here, everything was nice and warm. Easy start that way. There's that wind. See, it's shifting. Alright, it's not going to be too bad. Not really enough to even pull the windsock out all the way. Okay, we're going to do a run up right up here before we cross onto Echo. And we're going to do an intersection takeoff, Echo and 27. Get this turned into the wind a little bit here. And brake set. Brake set, doors and windows closed and locked. Flight controls.
Comanche 28 Papa, advise me done with the
We'll go 28 Papa. Flight instrument. Everything looks good. Mixture rich, throttle 1500 RPM. We'll move some oil here. There's one. Manifold pressure increase. RPM decrease. Oil pressure still gave me a little wiggle. Now we go to 2. Oh, she's developing a lot of horsepower today. Left magneto. Back to both. Right magneto. Back to both. Carb temp. Looks good. Suction. Temperatures. Pressures. Oil temp looks good. Back to idle. Idle's good. Back to 1,000. Alright, pre-takeoff checklist. Circuit breakers are good. Radio set to tower. Next frequency is 12595. Mike.
Bonanza 4 runway Bravo, turn right, taxiway Echo, contact ground point 9 off.
Trim is set. Primer in and locked. Mixture. Flaps. Floor is clear. Pitot heat we're not going to need. Transponder is on alt. Fuel boost pump, we'll get it as we pull up. Landing and taxi. Strobes.
Legion 433, holding short, runway 9.
Takeoff checklist.
Legion 433, Quad City Tower, turn left heading 050, runway 9er, clear for takeoff, wind 1106.
Left 050, clear for takeoff, runway 9er, Allegiant 433.
Alright, we're just reviewing the takeoff checklist. Flaps, throttle, 25.
Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa at the intersection of Echo and Delta, looking to permission to move up to hold short line of Echo.
Comanche 28 Papa holds position momentarily. Ground's got traffic coming off of 9.
Roger, I have the Bonanza in sight, holding short.
Okay. Go ahead and lean it out again. Six. A good looking Bonanza. There goes Allegiant, headed for Vegas, probably. Or it could be somewhere in Florida, I think Orlando. Or not Orlando, Tampa Bay or something.
Comanche 28 Papa, you can taxi up to taxiway Echo, hold short of 9er. It's going to be a 3-minute delay for wake turbulence, or you can take Papa for full length.
I'll do Papa full length, sir. 28 Papa.
Comanche 28 Papa, runway 9er, taxi via Echo Papa.
Echo Papa, hold short of 9, 28 Papa.
Legion 433, contact departure.
Okay, so I'm glad I leaned it out. Fuel boost pump is off. Only thing I got left to do is gas. Okay, so we're taking off at 9, which means we're taking off east. This one is actually pretty easy. I got 10,000 feet of runway. I go down to the end here. which I got to wait for the wake turbulence anyway. So.
City Tower, Dakota 2111 Charlie is 14 miles to the northwest inbound for runway 13.
So what we'll do, if in case of an
Dakota
emergency,
2111 Charlie, Quad City Tower, continue inbound for
and there's
runway
left,
report a 4-mile final.
we will take it.
We'll check in at 4 miles.
If not, there is a field right off the end of 9, actually a series of fields before you get into Coal Valley. We'll aim for one of them until I'm about 600 feet off the ground, which here is 1,100 feet, in which case I'll turn back and try to make it back to the runway, any runway, or even a field. I don't know how much you guys can see out the side, but there's actually cornfields on the airport. They're all, of course, harvested now, but I like it when they're bean fields because they're just other runways, basically. Corn's a little bit harder. All right. This huge taxiway, when we were redoing the center of the runway, was actually a runway. They poured this and they made it a runway. And then why they fixed where all 3 runways come together. If anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, you go out to the internet and you can pull up airport diagrams of the different airports around the country. I think which the Sky Vector, I suppose, is the best one for that. At least that's one I like, if you don't have ForeFlight. All right. Everything is looking good. Oil temperature's a little bit higher. That's good. We just got to do gas, lights, strobes. Everything is already on, so it's just gas, and we're ready.
Quad City Tower, 6928 Papa, sir, at the intersection of, what would it be, Papa and 9, ready for takeoff.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, runway 9er, clear for takeoff, turn left on course, Rockford.
Clear for takeoff, left on course, Rockford, 6928 Papa.
Okay. Fuel boost pump on, mixture rich, lights are on, compass is looking good. The Allegiant is headed for Vegas, it looks like. All right, right to left crosswind, on center line, on power. So a lot of right rudder because the engine's going to pull us left, and the wind is going to pull us left. There we go. Engine sounds good. Gauges look good. There's 80. There's 85. Brakes. Gear coming up. There's 100. It's going to be a little bumpy today. The cold air, and you still got a pretty decent amount of sunlight. And that sun, here is up. Flaps are up. And that sun heats the ground up, and those thermals can rise in the cold air pretty easy. Okay, temperatures are looking good. We're at 1,100 feet. We turn back for the airport, which actually I'm still over. That's how much horsepower we got today. Let's go ahead and back it off to 2,500 RPM. We're going to leave full throttle in. I do that to make sure plenty of gas gets into the cylinders. Keep them cool. And we're pitching for
Comanche 28 Papa, contact departure.
28 Papa, over to departure. Thank you, sir. Quad City departure, Comanche 6928 Papa, climbing through 1,800.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City departure, radar contact, climb to VFR requested altitude.
6928 Papa, climbing to 3,500.
okay.
Roger.
056, so let's go ahead and kick that fuel boost pump off. We've got 2,500 RPM, flaps, gear, everything's stowed. We're going to cruise climb, 128 miles an hour indicated. And we want to be 056, we're at 053. We'll give it a little lift, and it's going to be a little bumpy today. A few thermals. You know, the funny thing about air is it doesn't actually get heated by sunlight. The ground gets heated by sunlight, and that transfers the heat to the air, which kind of makes sense, I guess. As I was mentioning, I haven't flown in a month, so I'm feeling a little rusty. Got 1,000 feet per minute for a while there. When we were doing VY, we had 1,500 feet a minute. If I did VX, boy, we'd probably get almost 1,700, 1,800 feet a minute. Cold air, you gotta love it. The only thing I don't love is it's blowing on my head. Alright, there's 3,000. Pressures and temperatures look good. Another 15 seconds, we'll level off here and start accelerating. As I mentioned in the car, we're going to Rockford. There was a update, an operating system update for the 650 that gives you a VFR vertical descent guidance. I just want to see how the heck that works. Do they do it to a specific runway, or do they do it just to the center of the airport? I'm interested. So I needed to fly anyway, and I said, hey, that's a good reason. We'll go up and see the guys at Avionics Place there in Rockford. And we can go ahead and slow down here. We're going to run 65% horsepower today. And let's see, at 3,500 feet, 2223. We're close enough thereabouts, so 22 inches of manifold pressure. We're climbing. 22 inches of manifold pressure, 2,300 RPM, indicating 155 right now. That'll slow down here. (2,300 RPM). Okay, adjust that manifold pressure back again. Gotta take some. Alright, now we have a temperature. So the carb is -10. It's supposed to be +9, so that's -20 degrees. So we need to back off 0.34, and we'll just take a half. Alright, now we gotta get this altitude, get down, we're 100 over. Like I said, I'm feeling rusty. There we go. Visibility today is not too bad. Can't see the power plant, so it's less than 70 miles. But this high pressure has been here for 2 days. Actually, it's better than what I thought. I bet you it's 20, 25. Alright, whoa, that's fun. So, and let's go ahead and get her leaned out. As cold as it is, it won't take much leaning. I'm looking forward to February. I've mentioned before, and I've been reading up on this Garmin G5 HSI going in here. And I'm really kind of excited about it, because it's going to give me GPSS steering, which is way neat. I'll still have to control altitude, but program the GPS, and she'll fly. She'll fly whatever's programmed, which is really cool. Right now, I can do the heading bug when the GPS tells me to turn, which works great, don't get me wrong. And it'll fly, it'll hold the course once you get it on there, which you've seen demonstrated numerous times. But it won't do turns and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. We need to shut these vents, it is chilly. Alright. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. Bumpy, but kind of knew that was coming. Alright, let's get back to leaning here.
Quad City altimeter 3051.
That front's or that high pressure's pulling away. 2 hours, it's dropped 0.2. 5-1, 5-1. The forecast called for scattered clouds up here at Rockford at 3,500, and we're not IFR today, so we won't be busting into them, nor would I want to, because they could have a little bit of ice. I don't know how vertically developed they're going to be. Judging from what I'm seeing, they're not, so they probably won't have any ice in them. But my rule, and I try to stick to it, at least until I maybe gain a little bit more experience, my rule right now is temperature below freezing. Yeah, and we're at about 10, 12 degrees at this altitude. Don't go into clouds. That's simple. So I'm very cloud conscious in the wintertime. It's a little bit bumpier than what's enjoyable. It's not horrible, at least they're not sharp. What is the outside temp? What is it, Celsius? It is minus 12 Celsius. So 3,500. I can barely even see that. It's bumping around here. 155 miles. Yeah, that's where we're supposed to. That's where she's normally at. At 65% horsepower. Burning 12.3 an hour. There's Erie, Illinois, and we're going to fly right over the ultralight airport.
Twin Cessna 532 Juliet.
There was a bird we just went under.
Twin Cessna 532 Juliet, Quad City approach, Quad City altimeter 3051.
51.
If we were going any distance, I'd be up at 9, 10, 11,000 feet just to stay out of these bumps. They probably end at like 3, or no, we're at 35, so they probably end at about 5,500 feet. It just depends on how stable the atmosphere is, or unstable actually. Well, let's get some heat in here. My feet are getting a little chilly. And with that new exhaust system I put on last February, I really have not had much of a chance to check the heat. Should do that before I put the wife and kids in the plane. Or have them wear extra socks, one of the two. Now let's go ahead We'll switch tanks. Fuel boost pump on. Right main. Left main off. Fuel pressure is holding. Fuel boost pump off. Fuel pressure still holding. Alright, so we're on the right main. We used 4. Over here. So we got 24 in the left tank. We'll actually probably land on the right tank. We had 28 in the right tank. We'll go ahead and land on that. There's the power plant. How far away are we? I can just see the plume coming off of it. Get this thing to... It's about 35 miles, so I was close. There is clouds up ahead, but they look like they're above us, so... So I hope everybody's doing all right. Got through October nicely with Halloween and everything. We actually had less kids than normal this year. We live in a little addition. Normally we get quite a few kids, but this year not so many. I bought too much candy, which of course then I ate. That's always good. Traffic. Okay, 172 knots, but he's 2,600 feet above me. Falling. And I think they're going to have us land. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the weather for Rockford. 100 at 5 knots, so their wind is a little bit less. Of course, it's more towards the high pressure, which kind of makes sense. Alright, so we're going to plan. We're going to plan on runway 7. Which means I want to go left of the nuke plant. What it boils down to, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shift left of course. Rockford approach is 121. Let's get that dialed in and be ready. And Rockford ATIS is 127.6.
On 121.0. VFR departure, contact ground control upon course heading in degrees or destination airport and cruising up to.
We'll wait till we go.
Number 652 Foxtrot Charlie, quad city departure, radar contact, climb maintain 10,000. Turn right direct Garden City. Comanche 6928 Papa, contact Rockford approach 126.0. Have a nice day.
Rockford approach 126. Thank you, ma'am.
Bumping around in here.
Service service available. VFR inbound, contact Rockford approach at least 15 miles from the airport on 121.0. VFR departures, contact ground control with on course heading in degrees or destination airport and cruising altitude. Notices to airmen, land and hold short operations in effect.
Rockford approach, Comanche 6928 Papa, 43 miles southwest. In the process of getting the ATIS now.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Rockford approach, Rockford altimeter 3055, expect the straight on approach, runway 7.
3055, I'll expect 728 Papa.
09er, altimeter 30. Skyline 902 uniform traffic, catcher 11 o'clock and 5 miles westbound, altitude indicates 3000. Service available, VFR inbound, contact Rockford approach at least 15 miles from the airport on 121.0. VFR departures, contact ground control with on course heading in degrees or destination airport and cruising altitude. Notices to airmen, land and hold short operations in effect. Runway 7 to hold short of runway 1, available landing distance 8,800. Advise on initial contact you have Victor.
Victor.
Rockford Tower information, Victor 1854 Zulu weather, wind 1005, visibility 10. Ceiling 3,500 broken, 25,000 overcast. Temperature -1, dew point -09er, altimeter 3057. Visual approaches in use, landing and departing.
Okay, you gave me 5-5.
And 7. Service available, VFR inbound, contact Rockford approach at least 15 miles from the airport on 121.
Sir, is 4 Kilo Bravo, contact Chicago approach 120.55.
Okay, so it's broken 3,500. That's not what I'm seeing, but that is almost an hour old, that ATIS is, so. Okay, runway 7 is 10,002 feet long, 150 feet wide, so it's just like Moline. It'll be a right to left crosswind, light crosswind, right to left, which actually sometimes are harder than real crosswinds. The light ones are where you start overcompensating.
Comanche 28 Papa, make straight on approach, runway 7.
6928 Papa, straight in for 7, Wilco.
What I'm going to do.
Skyline 902 uniform traffic's now at your 1 o'clock and 3 miles, maneuvering altitude indicates 3,000.
So here, I'm going to load the procedure. Approach for Rockford. We're going to do the RNAV 7.
Comanche 901 Papa, leaving mark space to the southeast, radar services terminated, squawk
VFR,
frequency change approved. If you want to try Chicago approach, it's 133.5. I have you 5x5. See ya.
Okay, and we're going to go direct for the runway 07, this one. Direct, flight plan, 7, activate. Well, that didn't make sense.
November 6 X-ray Zulu, contact Chicago Center 133.95.
3395, good day, 6 X-ray Zulu.
Apparently you can't go direct to...
Thursday Charlie Delta, Rockford approach, Rockford altimeter 3055, sir, request.
Charlie Delta, sorry about that. We were doing a controller swap, but what was your destination?
Get warm.
Remember, Charlie Delta, squawk 4201. Uniform, descend and maintain 2,500. Six Golf Romeo, descend and maintain 7,000. And who's leaving my frequency? 95 Foxtrot radar service terminated.
So it doesn't like doing that. That's fine. We're just gonna cancel it.
Quebec 3902 Heavy Rockford. 3902 Heavy, expect visual runway 1, descend and maintain 4,000. Uniform IFR cancellation received squawk VFR. Frequency change of PU, traffic's a mile north of Poplar Grove, northbound, last indicated about 1800.
Alright. Bumpy.
Quebec 3902 Heavy, flighting 240.
I was trying to get it to go to a intermediate fix in the approach, but it won't do it, which is fine.
Please latest Mike, current. Hey Charlie Delta, your radar contact about 20 east of Rockford, Rockford altimeter 3055. Hey Charlie Delta, traffic's 1 o'clock 4 miles, correction 12 o'clock 4 miles westbound indicating 3,300.
Everything looks good. Going to avionics place. Great avionics shop. Owned by two fellas. They really do everything they can to make things work for you. And what, of course, I've mentioned this before, they're on the same field as my mechanics, so whenever I have avionics work done, I have it done during annual because the mechanics already got everything out of the, all the interior out. It makes it easier for them to come in and do the work. Great fellas, really are.
Quebec 3902 Heavy, Rockford 1 o'clock, 12 miles. Quebec 3902 Heavy, roger, flighting 230. Charlie Delta, I got a new squawk to get you flight following all the way. It's 5664.
Alright, it's going to be the first landing in over a month. So we are going to be very careful. Feeling rusty. Feeling rusty. The
1556 Rockford approach.
Landing weight 2,400 pounds. I did work on that.
Charlie Delta Rockford.
So that's 76 miles an hour. So we'll do like 80. We'll come in. Lots of runway, and it's
Cirrus 8,
wide.
Charlie Delta Rockford. 8 Charlie Delta, traffic no factor, and I got a new squawk to get you all the way to 3 Delta 2, squawk 5664.
I don't know if you guys can see the plume off the nuke plant, but we want to avoid that. That would not be a comfortable ride. We're going to go down to 2,500 actually to try to stay underneath of it.
Quebec 3902 Heavy, airport's now 3 o'clock, 8 miles. Quebec 3902 Heavy, cleared visual approach runway 1, contact tower, see you. Alpha Uniform, Rockford approach, Rockford altimeter 3055. November 6 Golf Romeo, contact Milwaukee approach 126.5, see you.
Rockford ATIS we got. Got the airport in sight. Flying over Mount Morris.
Southwest
There's the airport.
56 to center maintain 10,000 and then cross Zorro.
A little grass strip. I'm normally south of it, but today we're north of it.
Alpha Uniform, are you direct Echo Vicar or Victor Victor?
Oh, I see another plane.
Gotcha. Comanche 82, correction 28 Papa, contact tower.
28 Papa over to tower.
One 181.
Rockford Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa. 15 miles southwest of the field, 2,500.
Number 6928 Papa, Rockford Tower, number 2, runway 7, correction runway, runway 7 cleared to land, wind is 1209.
Runway 7 cleared to land, thank you, sir.
120 at 9. Have the runway in sight. Okay, so it's going to be right to left. That's 70 degrees. So it'll be all in 9 knots. Alright, let's start getting slowed down here. Take a couple inches of manifold pressure out. Hold altitude and the airplane will slow down. Don't want to do it too quick because we don't want to mess with the engine. I don't believe in shock cooling so much, but there's no sense tempting it when I got time.
ABEX 3902 Heavy, turn left at Foxtrot, taxi to the Delta ramp, this frequency, I'll give you progressive.
Roger, left on Foxtrot to the Delta ramp, we expect progressive, ABEX 3902.
And ABEX 3902 Heavy, your operations called and advised us that they want you to go to the Delta ramp. My understanding is that the Delta ramp is the west end of the UPS cargo ramp, but from here, I can't even tell or verify that for you, but you might be able to tell once you get there.
Roger that, ABEX 3902.
Up center ground. Thank you. ABEX 3902. I don't know if you copied that, but it's Foxtrot 4 will be your turn in for the Delta ramp.
Roger, that will be Foxtrot 4, ABEX 3902.
Alright. We're slowly slowing down here. Alright. We'll go ahead and bring the gear down and we'll start our descent. So we're in gear speed. Gear coming down. Gas. Undercarriage is green. Mixture. Drop. We're over the locator outer marker of the ILS. So 500 foot per minute descent. Ground speed is exactly 90 knots. Which should put us right on the numbers. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Speed. We'll get in close and we'll get her slowed down, get some flaps thrown out. Going to be right to left crosswind, relatively stiff. Well, not stiff, 8, but it is 8 or 9, it's going to be all of it. Make sure we got happy feet. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Speed. Right on 120 miles an hour indicated, 500 feet per minute descent. Ground speed is 90 knots, that's right down the slot.
Wind 150 at 9er.
150 at 9. That's full 9 knot crosswind. Not bad. Okay. Let's get her slowed down now. Get her down to 100 miles an hour. There's 101, 2 notches of flaps. We're looking for 90. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, speed, 90. Right on 90, there we go. Now we follow 90 down. A short final, and then we'll get to 85. We're sinking. So on this, what I'm doing, guys, is I'm controlling my sink rate with my throttle, and I control the speed with the elevator. So I'm pitching up or down to control speed. Sink rate is controlled with the throttle. And I never have found a setting that's perfect on the Comanche. It's always kind of a, well, here it's about here, and it's about there, and okay, so we're a little bit high. Last notch in, and we're looking for 80 miles an hour now. We're over the airport fence. We're sinking too much now, so we give it a little gas. There's 80 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour. And let's go ahead, short final. We're going to get the feet working. 80 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour. Floating, floating. There she's going to, oh, nope, it's going to float again. There she goes. That one was nice. Okay. Too much back pressure there when I thought she was settling.
Papa, say parking.
We're going to avionics place, sir.
November 28 Papa, turn left at the end, and then taxi to the avionics place via Juliet. Remain this frequency.
Left at the end on Juliet, taxi to the avionics place, Wilco, 28 Papa.
Okay, so we'll leave our lights on till we're clear. Fuel boost pump can come off, and we'll lean. We're going to taxi to reasonable speed here, because we're on the runway. The wind is right to left. We're going to hold crosswind, even though 9 knots, you really don't need to do that, but good habit to be in, I think. And flight time here was 38 minutes. Actually about 36, because that one was running. And we are warm. Gotta remember when you're taxiing, these are tricycles. You don't try to ride a tricycle at high speed. You found that out as a kid. You can't turn at high speed. So we can't go too quick. We're indicating actually about 26 knots ground speed, which is pretty good. And you can tell me to get off at any time, too. There's a crack right there in the middle. It's pulling my tire. Yes, we are approaching 0. We're going right across it. Cleared. All right, there's Foxtrot. We're going to turn off on Foxtrot. All right. Now you got to think, where's the wind? The wind is here. When the wind goes past my right wing, I want to flip the ailerons around. So right about there, flip the ailerons around to keep that wing down. And he said Juliet, which is what this is. Boy, look at this bank of clouds there. That's pretty thick. I mean, not thick, just tight. Okay, now we remember where the wind is. Not much wind, so it really doesn't matter, but get in the habit. Cars coming. Okay. So after landing,
And that's it. We'll see y'all later.